Hey guys, I hope this is not too dark. I'm still trying to figure out how to keep the glare off of my whiteboard. But we are ready to start week 23 of Math Dailies, and we're going to go over day one right now. So our first box in day one is adding fractions. We've done a little bit of that. I know you guys have been doing great on it, but this one is going to be a little bit different. We have a mixed number first with a whole number and a fraction together plus a fraction, okay? So we're going to add our whole numbers first. Well, 13 plus nothing, because there's not a whole number there, is 13. And then we're going to add our two fractions. Now, because the denominator is the same, all we have to do is add the two top numbers, 5 plus 7. So that gives us 12. And then we keep our denominator on the bottom, 8, 13 and 12 eighths. So you may think, hey, I'm done. But you would be wrong. It's not, you're not done yet, because this is an improper fraction. The top number is higher than the bottom number. And so that means that this is more than one whole. Think about it like this. If I had a pizza, and it had 8 slices, not drawn the very best, but if I had 8 slices and I ate all 8 slices, how many pizzas did I eat? Well, I ate one whole pizza. So 8 eighths is one whole. So we need to change this now to make it a proper fraction instead of an improper fraction. So we're going to break this down. We've got 13 and 12 eighths, so we're going to keep our 13, but we're going to split this into 8 eighths, and this is where decomposing our fractions in the last couple of weeks that we've done comes in handy. We're going to break it down this time into 8 eighths, and then if we had 12 eighths minus 8 eighths, that gives us 4 eighths. So we're going to have 13 and 8 eighths plus 4 eighths. Or you could have 13 and 4 eighths plus 8 eighths. It doesn't matter. Well, because we said 8 eighths is one whole, that's going to change to a 1. So we're going to have 13 plus 1 plus 4 eighths, which equals 13 plus 1 is 14. Oops. You don't have to put a plus there. 14 and 4 eighths. And then, so that you could be done here, 14 and 4 eighths. But because we know that 4 eighths is the same as 1/2, you could also reduce the fraction to its simplest form and get 14 and 1/2. So either one of these answers is correct. You could have 14 and 4 eighths or 14 and 1/2. Because remember how we talked about equivalent fractions. If we took 4 of these eighths, that would be the same as half the pizza. So 14 and 4 eighths or 14 and 1/2. Okay, now to box 2. We are listing the factors of 34. So we know, I'm going to write it up here, 1 times 34. And because it's an even number, we know there's a 2. So if you're not sure what that would be, you could divide by 2. This is when I need my big whiteboard from school, isn't it? All right, 2 fits into 3 once. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring down 4. 2 times 7 is 14. I have 0. So 2 times 17. Now, let's think about 3. Can we divide by 3? Well, we know 3 times 11 is 33. So that we know, well, it's not divisible by 3. 4 times 8 is 32. So then 4 times 9 would be too much. It's not divisible by 5 because it doesn't end with a 0 or a 5. It's not divisible by 6. because 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 times 6 would be too much. Not divisible by 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Not divisible by 8, or 9, or 10, or 11. So we're pretty much done. And it's not divisible by 12 either. So we're pretty much done. We know that it's probably not divisible by 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 either. So now we're back to 17. So these are our 4 factors: 1, 2, 17, and 34. And so that makes it composite. And you can just circle composite on your page. So 34 is a composite number. Right, box 3, we're determining the 13th shape in the pattern. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can think how many 3s would fit into 13. Division. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. And then we have 1 left over, nothing to bring down, so we have 4, remainder 1. So if we went through these all 4 times, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a remainder of 1, we would be on the star. So the next, no, that would be the 13th shape then. That's the 13th shape. So the other way you could do it is just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And again, we land on the star. But here, this helps you know, like I've been through all the shapes 4 times and then had a remainder of 1, so I'm gonna pick the first shape. If you had a remainder of 2, it'd be the second shape. If you had a remainder of 3, it'd be the third shape. If you had no remainder and went through equally, actually, yeah, if you had a remainder of 3, that wouldn't be right. So if you didn't have a remainder, then it would be the third shape. All right, last one is more fractions, leading us into talking about decimals. When you have a number out of 100, it's similar to thinking of how many cents in a dollar. So just keep that in mind. We're not going to be doing the decimal part today, but we are adding tenths and 100ths. So here we have 6 tenths plus 5 100ths equals 65. And remember we said you cannot add fractions if the divisor's not the same. So we got to make the denominator's not the same. So we got to make the denominators the same. Well, the way to do that is to add a 0 here would make it the same as 100. But whatever you do to the bottom, you also have to do to the top. So we're adding 0 to both of those numbers. And 60 plus 5 is 65. So we're doing the same thing down here. We have a 10 and a 100 for our denominator. So to make our denominators the same, we have to add a 0 here. Got to do it to the top also. So 50 100ths plus 2 100ths is 52.